It's been how long? How long? We haven't done this properly in a long time, but also it kind of speaks to our lives because, you know, for people who don't know, Sam and I are 1 week apart, and we've been best friends since we're 17. So naturally,
now we're 32.
We're 32. 32.
Yes, we're old.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I feel it.
And we've got wives, and I don't think I had when I made my last video with you, I didn't have a child.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I've got a 16-month-old child.
Crazy, hey?
So lots has changed, lots has happened, but it feels right to be back doing this. Yeah. And it feels like the timing is good. Yeah. Things are aligning. And what a way to do it in a G400.
I know, right?
I think from my perspective, this is now, it's a facelifted version. Yeah. But whenever you look outwards at a G Wagon or somebody that's driving a G Wagon, you can almost sometimes think, ooh, they're a bit flashy, they're a bit showy, who they kind of be. It kind of got like a bit of a gangster feel to it. Yeah, that's true. But I think that all changes when you actually get in one as a passenger and a driver and experience what the car's about. You can understand why people spend 3 to 4 million rand on one of these, especially 100%. If you've got a family.
100%. And my first G Wagon experience was the 63. And I must be honest, at the time I thought to myself, as nice as this is, you know, it's difficult to put yourself in the mindset of a person who drives a car like this. But this 400d for me has been a game changer because the 63, because it's got so much power, the first thing you want to do, you want to jump into that thing and just go for it. Sport Plus.
Pipes.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you run out of fuel. And as journalists who don't have the money to run the fuel of a G63, it kind of wears off very quickly. Yeah. Whereas I've spoken to so many people and everyone says that this is actually the G Wagon you want. And I'd love to know from you guys in the comments, G Wagon, do you need the 63? I understand that the 63 is nice and that engine is not going to be an iconic thing because like Merc is going the downsizing route. Yeah. But for me, an SUV like this, it always makes sense for it to be a diesel because I've had this car now for a couple of days and I've still got over half a tank. Yeah. I've still got 250 or 240 odd something kilowatts and 700 Newton meters. And I'm glad that I actually don't even know the full figure because really, does it matter?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I think that's leading into that point. Who is buying this car and why are they buying it? Yeah. So it's obviously somebody that can afford a 3 to 4 million rand car. Yeah. So they're in the higher echelon of earners. So they could be a business owner, or it could be the family of somebody who is a business owner. Yeah. So what do they want? Firstly, they want a car which they can use as a family car to run around in. 100%. They want a car that's safe. Yeah. This is definitely safe. It's built like a tank. It feels like a tank. Yeah. They want something that's extremely comfortable, and you know, we could be in a GLS for all we know now. It's got that level of comfort and luxury and quietness about it. That's you know, if we're in the G63 now, there'd be pipes, there'd be things, it just wouldn't be as refined and as comfortable. Yeah. So this has got it's got an aura of kind of like quietness and smoothness to it.
Sophistication,
it's like a sophisticated, understated G-Wagon compared to like a G63, which is a bit more loud, out there. Because if you want to pose in a G63, you can. Yeah. Whereas this has got like a family-orientated, safety, but like truck feel about it. Yeah, yeah. I'm a guy that owned a 1996 Land Rover 110 Defender. Yeah. And I appeal very much to that kind of boxy, rugged, square feel. It feels safer, you feel great on the road. The position of where you sit is fantastic.
Like a boss sitting there.
You feel like a boss, but it's got obviously world-class modern tech. The screen is just like, this is phenomenal. This is one of the best things Merc did. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think if you're a person that's looking for an all-round safe family SUV, because as a person with a child, one thing that I look for now when I'm buying a car, I'm looking at airbags, I'm looking at safety ratings, I'm looking at like hijack ratings.
That's true.
So it gives you kind of the luxury status you may want, but also kind of the refinement and the safety you need for your kids and your wife to run around And you know, if you want a G63, if you want those big motors, those loud motors, you don't need it in this.
No.
You go and get it in other things.
You probably got an E63, or you probably got like an SL or something.
Yeah.
And you know,
or a C6. Oh, it's not a V8. It's been a while. It's been a while, guys. I had to jump that in. I haven't been around. It's been a while.
What gets me with this car is that you still have the look. I mean, if people who don't know, the only thing that's short from a look perspective is the pipes on the side if it was a 63.
Yeah,
it still looks like a 63. People notice it. You look like a baller in it. But the best part about all this, because naturally, if I have to put my journalist hat on, which really actually, because I also understand that the person who buys this car, you're not going to sit here and say, wow, Sam and Francisco said, let me buy it based on that. You buy it because you want it. But I have to ask myself, if you've got the kind of money to buy this, you probably have got the money to buy, well, you do have the money to buy a Bentayga.
Yes.
You've got the money to buy an Urus.
Yes.
You know? I mean, this is the special edition, that's the Schockel edition, which is a 3.7, but I think the base 400D is about 3.4, 3.3 million. But what I like about this, and I wonder if the person who buys this car will do this, you've got a front, middle, and a center lock. So you can go climb dunes in Namibia. You can go to Mozambique and like go wild in this thing. So you can have like your cake and eat it. Whereas I don't know if I'm gonna go bundu bashing in a Bentayga. But if you're that way inclined and you're still like a super wealthy person who does like really want to go for adventure, this thing is, and people don't realize it, that a G-Class is first and foremost a car that can off-road like no one's business. I think I was reading about this whole Schockel thing. I think every single G Wagon has to do about 2,000 kilometers on this Schockel pass that's in Germany. I think it's like 5Ks of crazy climbs and this and that. So this thing will never let you down. You've got like Land Cruiser, if not more, capability, but in like a 3 million, 4 million rand body.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It kind of combines like sort of kind of off-road performance that you'd expect from like the Ineos Grenadier, for example, but in the Mercedes luxurious package. I mean, I think this, and for me as well, I always think about, you know, what if the world ends and we need an SUV to get us out? Like, if you've got that apocalyptic mindset, then the G Wagon lines up, because like you got front locking, rear locking, diffs, you've got everything you need. It can do what it needs to do. And for the 0.1% chance of that actually happening, and you need to drive up the side of Table Mountain to keep your family safe, you can do that.
You can.
And that appeals to those kind of people with those weird mindsets like myself.
Exactly. And what I love though is that the argument is that no, people think that because it's diesel, it doesn't have performance. But I mean, we've got like a bit of a mountain pass. Feel that. 700 Newton meters. And what I love is, you think it's a box, and I expected it to be a box. I can chuck this thing. I mean, I can turn in quite nicely.
Look at that.
It doesn't feel big. It doesn't feel bulky. And what's happening with your seats?
It's holding me in. It's keeping me. Wonder where they got that idea from.
Exactly. That's the first thing I noticed. Is, you know, I took this. I took my wife around the block, and the first thing she was so impressed about, because she gets car sick, she was like, "Oh, the seats are compensating. It's like pressing me up when you turn a corner." And even on these switchbacks, you can feel the car feels very neutral. The amount of tech that goes into making a box like this dynamic,
not act like a box.
Merc has really done a good job with this.
And that's the thing with the diesel, is 700 Newton meters, and when it comes to diesels, you're thinking about torque, you're thinking about that pulling power, and you're thinking about the distance, the long range distance that you've got. So if you now want to go and drive this car to Johannesburg or to Durban, or you're doing the other route and you're coming down from Joburg or Durban to Cape Town for holidays, what better car to do it in? It's safe, it's comfortable. You've got the range and the pulling power that you need. You don't have to go and charge every 300 Ks because you've gone electric.
True. Or you've got a 63 and you need to fill up every 300 Ks.
Exactly, or you've got the petrol,
That's another thing I must actually ask you. I wonder, right? I always ask you, everyone asks themselves, if I fell into a ton of money, I still wonder if I'd have the mindset to say, I don't want to be filling up every 300 to 400 Ks. And I understand, if you've got $4 to spend on a car, you probably don't care. But I think the cheapie in me would still get irritated with the fact that I have to always still, every 300-400 Ks, put in some fuel. But with this, I mean, I've been driving it for a couple of days. I think I still have about 500 Ks of range. I think I'm sitting on 8.8 liters.
Exactly.
I mean, 8.8 liters, that's crazy.
It's crazy,
It's crazy.
I think when it comes to that kind of thing, if you had to do like a perfect 2 or 3 car garage, in there is going to be something that is loud and fast.
There we
you
go.
can't have a 3-car garage where all 3 is loud and fast, because it drains your senses. You know, you're going to get over it.
And your family will hate it.
And the family will hate it. So now imagine you're in Cape Town CBD, you've got to run into the office, you're going to shoot, you've got to do work.
Yeah.
But you know, it's been a long, hard week. The kids are going crazy. You actually just want to sit in a car which is luxurious, safe, comfortable, refinement, and just if you just have a little bit of peace and quiet.
Yeah,
I
couldn't agree more.
It's wonderfully calm and wonderfully quiet.
Yeah.
Now, if you're doing this in a G63, it's just going to irate you up until you get to the office.
Yeah.
So there's a time and place for those kind of things. And maybe if you're looking for one car, and it's got to be an SUV, but you want it to be loud and fast and safe and for the family, then you would maybe go G63.
Yeah.
But if this is a second car, then, and your other car is a performance-oriented vehicle,
like a 911, AMG GT.
Yeah, you don't, an M's, maybe it's an M this, it's a C this.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that with an SUV.
No.
And I think if you asked us this question when we started in 2015,
yeah.
when we drove the G63, we probably would have told you a different thing. But now we're older, we're getting tireder, we're not sleeping as well.
Our back's a bit sore.
Our back's a bit sore. So, you know, we're actually refining with the car.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're growing up with the G60, well, the G400d.
Exactly.
But yeah, guys, the good thing is we are back, and we're not saying that, we are back. And what a way for us to get back. And thank you guys. Please, also, it goes without saying, please subscribe. We need the subscribers. We want to grow this channel. You know, we want 100K. So yeah.
We're not going to ask you to like, subscribe, and follow. And we just want you to do one thing: and subscribe. Don't worry about liking. Don't worry about sharing. Just subscribe.
Just subscribe, guys.
Just subscribe.
But Sam, good to be back, my bro.
My bro.
Let's do it. Let's do it.